All right, welcome to Overly Opinionated.
Episode 2.
Rest in peace to the fallen kings.
And free the guys.
Free the guys, big time. I'm going to apologize in advance for my voice right now because I got a little sinus issue going on. It's not COVID, but...
No, we're not worried about COVID. It's monkeypox. That's the new one.
That's racist. But yeah, so this weekend, before we get to the topics and such, this weekend I went to an art museum for the first time.
First time?
Yeah, for the first time. I'd never been to an art museum.
Not even a field trip as a kid?
No.
Wow. It was different, wasn't it?
Bro, I'm not going to lie to you.
Nice.
I think it changed me. Like,
for what?
It changed the way that I look at art. I never was moved by art before. Never. I never was moved by art. Not like the physical art. Like, obviously, like videos and movies and music, but like seeing art, bro.
I don't like how people treat it.
What do you mean? How do people treat it?
Like, this is just so glorious, and
it is though.
No, but we gotta take care of it. Like,
you do though.
Nah,
you don't think you gotta take care of it?
Because I don't care. It's like it's fragile. They treat it like
it is fragile though.
This is a gold mine.
I don't think that's what it is. See, that's like you're putting value on gold. Like you think that the value of this art is its monetary worth.
Yeah,
the way I look at it is like the emotions that it brings out of you, like the emotions that it incites, and that's what I was surprised by, bro. Like we went to this exhibit called the New Black Vanguard, and it was like black photography. And fam, I've never cared about a picture before ever, like unless there was something happening in the picture. Yeah. You feel me? This picture was literally just
speaking to you,
bro.
I seen the pictures you posted. I was gonna be childish. It was like, get this black shit off my timeline. But it was dope. That's the only reason why I did. Only reason why I did.
Nah, I was really moved by some of those. Like,
I like museums for one reason: how spacious it is. Like, it doesn't. I never been in a museum that felt crowded, and I love that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Like, it's like it feels like a warehouse where everything, just this little piece of art, has its own space.
Yeah,
and then you just move to stations. I like that aspect of it.
Same.
That shit's fire.
I thought about it in a different sense, where it was like everybody is kind of enjoying this their own way, at their own pace, almost in their own little world.
Yeah,
like. There was multiple groups around us, and like none of us like spoke to each other, which I thought was fine. Like it's a little bit weird, but I thought it was fine.
You want to be spoken to about that?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's just that like being social creatures.
Yeah,
it's odd to be there where there's something to socialize. Like I'm gonna talk to my wife about it.
Did they have music there? Like
no,
background music?
There was no.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a video.
Had music.
There was a video playing. But it was like of the photography.
That's hard. See, now was it just photos or like actual artwork?
It was photos for that exhibit. We actually did walk around, and to be honest, bro, nothing moved me the way that like them black pics moved me. I'm not joking, bro. Like it was really like it was like church in there.
Do you like to see how art is created? Like, would you want to see how them photographs was taken?
I don't think it's the same thing for the pictures. I think it would feel less significant if I watched those pictures being taken.
Really?
Yeah. I hope that I'm wrong, but I don't want to find out. Because usually when I see someone taking a picture, it feels cheap to me. Like, you're capturing this moment. I don't know what it is about it, but it feels like less of an experience than actually being there and experiencing.
So, do you love genuine off guards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it doesn't feel forced.
Right.
Like, okay, I get you on that one.
Especially if it's a moment. Especially if it's a moment. Like if there's something going on. Yeah. Somebody sent me a picture today of me laughing with her husband. And it's just like such a pure moment.
Yeah.
Like
showing the emotion.
But it's interesting though, bro, because we walked around the rest of it, right? And I often think, what's the difference between the artists that we know their names? I don't know if you know any artists like Vincent Van Gogh, Pablo Picasso. Like, I always think, what's really like, we just chose that these people are better, right? This is just who we were told
right
are the
it's
best
the high
artists.
level, top of the list.
Nah, fam, nah, that's not the case. Like walking through that art museum, we walk to the Impressionism area, and I'm telling you right now, you could easily tell. Like you could literally see a wall full of art, and there's one that sticks out to you where you're like, damn,
yeah, so
that is exquisite.
But that could be just your preference of the type of art you like, right?
Yes, but but what I'm saying is all of it is the same type of art. All of we were looking at, like, because it's in this area where this is the art. You feel me? Like, it would be like you're in the photography section.
Yeah.
Like, that photo might just be the best photo taken, but this is photography. This is the same type of photography. Impressionism is like a single type of art. All of the art,
I see what you're saying.
all the pieces look similar, except for the few, and you gravitate automatically, bro. I'm not joking. This, like I said, this is my first time here, and I only know these artists' biggest pieces. So, like, not knowing who it was, I walked directly to him, like, look at this.
So, was it like a newer guy or
no?
Oh, it was old.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Van Gogh. They got a Van Gogh in there, and they got I think they had, at least that I saw, a Picasso. Now, to be fair, like, that might be, like, I'm conditioned to recognize that because that's the only artist that we know. So his style might be familiar to me.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you that seeing it in person, it's levels. It's levels, and they are high level.
I learned that because I can see something in the book or on TV is one thing. You can see it 1,000 times, but I think it would be different if I seen the Mona Lisa in person. Like, I think it would be like, wow, this is really the Mona Lisa. Like,
facts, bro. One of the things that really took me aback was that these paintings, you can see the brushstrokes still.
That's fire.
Like, these are from the 1800s.
That's fire.
And you can literally see, like, all the effort that went into it. That's insane.
Yeah, it's almost unbelievable.
Genuinely almost unbelievable, bro.
Yeah. I definitely, art is really a crazy thing. Like,
it's really crazy, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that until this weekend.
Because there's so many forms, I knew it was crazy. Like, that shit is pure talent.
I just separated that from the art forms that I consume, because the art forms that I consume, they seem more readily available.
Yeah.
I don't have to go somewhere to listen to music. I don't have to go, like, I can literally click a button and hear music.
Yeah. I appreciate art because the patience that I don't have it takes to do it.
And ability, bro.
Yeah. That alone. And I know sometimes you just don't even feel like doing anything, and then you still put these hours in when it comes back to mind, like, oh, I gotta finish this, because I know they don't finish it in one sitting.
No, bro, I know people who, like, paint now, and they talk about how they, like, it's not finished, and I'm like, man, you should sell that right now. It's
crazy though. That shit really crazy.
Yeah, pure
talent.
All right, but let's try to get to one of the things that I wanted to talk about, just based off of my last week. Some happenings last week. And by the way, that episode last week was mad heavy.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot to live up to, but at the same time, expectation is the only requirement for disappointment. So this show not like that, like this for opinions.
No, I don't think it's hard because it was like a genuine, natural conversation.
What I'm saying
is what we normally have.
What I don't want is for our listeners to expect, like, it's gonna be therapy every week.
Yeah, I don't want niggas ain't sad all the time.
Yeah, it's funny. No, what's funny though is, remember we had to select the category that our podcast was gonna be in, and we chose comedy because most of our conversations is just like shooting the shit,
and that's complete opposite.
It's like, that's not funny at all. Like, somebody literally scrolling through Spotify, like
crying, like they set me up.
Comedy, looking for a comedy podcast. Dog talk about grief. But no, just some of the conversations that I had last week made me want to ask you a couple questions about offense.
I'm ready for it.
I think so. I had a conversation with someone who seems like they're on the side of the spectrum of people are too offended. I think we know at least someone on each side of the spectrum where it's like people get offended too easily. Yeah. And then there's the other side where it's like people offend too often.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yep.
Like you got the what do you call it? Like an activist, and then you got the, I don't even know what you want to call that. Just a complete like contrarian.
Yeah,
almost.
I don't know the word.
Like it's like they want to go against the grain says that this is, and they just got to go against that grain. But I think that there is a natural like separation between those two.
Yes. And I think it only exists. I look at it like this. Some people change when times change and some just stay the same. And that's where I think it stems from, because like as years goes by, you can't do the same things you used to be able to do 5-10 years ago. Like perfect example, when Dave Chappelle's show came out, you could say anything on TV when he was him. There really wasn't cancel culture back then.
Yeah.
So you replay his episodes now.
There was cancel culture though. People got canceled, just not the same way.
I can't think of anybody who got canceled.
Man, I actually had an example, but I didn't expect this conversation, so I don't got it right now. But,
okay.
But no, yeah, you're right. It was definitely more freedom.
Yeah. And if you listen to old like stand-up, people would try to cancel now. Just based off things you said 10, 15 years ago.
No question.
And it's like, now if I still do comedy, like how do I can't just put their worries on the back burner, because this is my money we're talking about now. Yeah. So it's like, I do think people get offended way too easy.
You think that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
I think they're looking for it.
So look, that might be the case. I think, and this is a conversation that I'm kind of exhausted by.
Yeah.
Like we hear, I mean, the conversation about cancel culture is so frequent. I don't want to have the conversation of whether it exists or not, because I want to acknowledge that there is a large enough group of people that feels offended by things that happen regularly.
Yeah.
There is another large group of people that feels entitled to offending.
Yep.
Like, if this offends you, you need to be tougher about it, right?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that neither of those sides accepts the reality of like just our history. Like our history shows that, like you said, when times change, like these things change. There was a time when saying colored would like you, bro. We just stopped calling you nigger. Like, we can't say color now. Like, come on, we need color.
Exactly what it sounds like.
But now everybody who's saying like, oh, I should still be allowed to say faggot. Oh, I should still be allowed to say retard. Like that same mentality is the type of mentality that they would not back so much if it was the words that we all agree.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There was a time though that we didn't all agree on those words.
Yeah. And it was accepted.
It was accepted.
Right.
Like this, it was seen as cancel culture to trip over somebody calling somebody colored.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. My stance on it personally is you can say whatever you want to anyone. You gotta eat those repercussions. You can say whatever you want, man. And I'm not saying that I agree with the repercussions. I'm just saying that we all, especially as men,
should be open to it.
Not just open to it, but like we already behave as if someone might punch us in the face. Like we behave in a way that like we have to accept the consequences of our actions.
Yeah.
Whether that be talking to somebody crazy or saying something that you don't know if it's going to offend somebody. Like if somebody break down crying because something that you said and you didn't mean to, you didn't intend to hurt their feelings, that doesn't stop their feelings from being hurt.
Right.
And you being upset that somebody said something about you, if it's not true, it doesn't make it more true. Like both of the sides just seem like they're missing a piece of reality, but the entirety of the situation is that it's all going to change anyway.
What I don't like about it is it puts people in an uncomfortable situation where you got to constantly think, will this offend someone? Even if it was normal, something that's so normal.
I think that discomfort is fine. I do that all the time.
Is it needed?
For what?
Is that discomfort needed to have a cordial world?
Now look, man, you might hate me for saying this, but discomfort is always needed for growth.
That's a fact.
It's always needed for growth, man. If it's uncomfortable for you to be more like thoughtful of other people's feelings, that might be a necessity. Like, I'm not here to be the arbiter of whether that's a necessity or not.
But you do agree some people are just offended, like, just because they don't have nothing else going on that day.
Sure, but I also agree that some people just want to say faggot.
Yeah. I know a couple one of them.
You know what I mean?
Like, that's considered my F-bomb, by the way.
Bro, the only reason I'm saying it is I don't want to tap dance around it as if like it's not a word. Yeah. I don't like the censorship thing. Like, it's a word. It's just that I would never, like, I'm not saying that derogatorily towards someone, but at the same time, like, there's someone out there that is. Yeah. And that person is also arguing that people get offended too easily. Most likely. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of person. But I think that there are also people that are closer toward the middle of both of those sides, where they're good people, but they genuinely believe that everyone's out to offend them, and they're good people that genuinely believe everyone's out to stop them from having the freedom to say things.
If you had a guess, who do you think there was more of?
No, I think they are probably equal. I mean, I regularly hear from both of them. I'm talking
really?
Regularly hear from both of them.
Wow, I was gonna say, just the people I'm around, they say people get offended too easy. Yeah, you already know. Yeah, I know. People get offended too easy. Yeah. I don't want to say I'm on that boat, but it depends.
You said you were on the boat.
It depends on the topic. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. When you say it depends on the topic, you're admitting that neither side is the actual side. Yeah. Like, the reality of the situation is things evolve to be different than what we're used to. Yeah. And whether that means you're offended more or you feel less free to say certain things, it's a guarantee. Like, either of those things is literally a guarantee. There's never going to be a time where people aren't offended. Yeah. That's not a thing. Like, there will always be some way that you could offend somebody, that you could, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Diminutize somebody. Like, there will always be a way for you to make somebody feel small, even if you don't intend to. There will always be a way for that to happen. There will also always be somebody who will wield their power of telling you that you're wrong for being offensive. That's never going to go away.
So, knowing that's not going to go away, that goes on to our next question. Is that good or bad for the future?
I think it's neutral.
It depends on how we handle it, right?
No, not necessarily. I think that any change is likely neutral, because the way that we evolve as a society, it always just changes with whatever it is that we're doing. Like, in the 90s, in the early 90s, there was a group of people, probably most people, who thought, do you think that having this thing called the internet is going to be good or bad for society? They're telling us that you could literally you can contact anyone from inside your own home. Do you think that's good or bad for society? There will be good arguments that it's not good. Yeah. There would be good arguments that it's phenomenal. I think the reality is that it's probably somewhere closer to the middle of either of those things.
That's a fact.
And I think that that's probably the case for all of the evolutions that we're going to see. I mean, the world isn't meant to last forever, right?
Or stay the same.
Yeah, it's not going to last forever. It's not going to stay the same. And nothing that we do is going to stop us from hurling toward the end of this.
Do you like where we're going? Do you personally like where the world is going?
I think I'm neutral on it, to be honest. Like, I'm doing all right.
I truly don't think about it.
You don't think? What do you mean you don't think about it?
I don't think about, like, when it comes to politics or the wars we're going to be fighting as an American. I don't think about none of that. I think about wake up, going to work, planning the next vacation, shit like that.
Is that for, like, mental health?
I just truly don't care.
Wow. That's surprising. Yeah, that's surprising because you got children. Or you got a child.
That is. I just don't care. Like, what am I going? All I can do is just prepare her, just for it. That's it.
I don't think that's all you can do. No, that's me personally, though.
You think I could be a part of the change?
Yeah, I think whatever you are convinced of, I think you have the ability to like indoctrinate her and like make sure she behaves the way that you think is right. Like you could do that. I see that most often.
Yeah.
Like most often I see kids being taught to be like a copy of their parents, but like with what their parents believe now, like that is what you should do for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that saying that you plan to prepare her and that's it. I think there's a part of that that's noble, but there's another part of that that's kind of
selfish.
Not necessarily selfish, but just like risky.
Why?
Because what do you think is going to form her beliefs if not your influence?
Whatever she spends most time doing or with. So of course it's going to be her immediate family. I would try to, I would try to encourage her to have her own opinion. Because who knows if I'm right or whatever I say or do. Like, so I would want her to have her own opinion when she gets to that age. Like, I don't want her to think what I said is concrete when it comes to the world. Because I just want her to be open, like, you got this, that, etc. Like, that's all I want to do as a parent.
And you're saying that in the face of disappointment.
Yeah.
That's fucking beautiful, bro. Yeah. That's beautiful, bro.
Because I don't want to put my selfishness on her.
Sure.
Like, I'm not the most open-minded person. I would love for her to be open-minded. I would love for her to be open-minded. Like, I want her to see both sides of the spectrum.
In the face of disappointment.
Yes, even though I don't see it. Because it's kind of disappointing not being open-minded. Like, just not be able to accept certain things.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's, I don't want to say hold me back, but it put me in bad positions.
Sure.
So.
That makes sense.
I don't want that for her. Like, I want her to take her losses on the chin and knows there's other possible outcomes. I want her to know she do something, things she could have did different, and the outcomes that comes with it. Like, I want her to know failure is okay. Disappointment comes with life. Yeah. You just got to keep pushing through.
Right.
That's all I want to teach.
No, that's beautiful.
Main goal.
Now, when I say in the face of disappointment, I mean knowing that she has an opportunity to be something that you don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah.
Like you still want to garner her making that decision for herself. You would prefer her make that decision
because she's her own person.
That's fucking beautiful.
Strictly, that's the only reason why. Because she's her own person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's sad to say, hopefully it'll make me change or help me change. When something you love so much is something you don't agree with. I think that's the closest thing that help you change.
No, that's beautiful. So I love that. I love that answer.
That's why I don't watch politics or nothing like that, because it's not gonna do anything for me, but make me think about it more.
Sure.
I don't want to think about it more.
I think we all have our things that we tap into on a regular basis. Like, I think you have your good bit of like gore that you're into. Like, watching people die. You are okay with watching people die.
I was gonna send you.
I'm glad you did it. I don't know what you about to finish.
P&B got shot.
Okay.
In a robbery attempt. He was on the ground bleeding. I was gonna send it to you, but got caught up in time.
I appreciate that you didn't, because
I'm still going to.
That's not.
I know. I have to. Though,
sick dude. But that's not my thing. But I'll listen to people arguing flat Earth, which, I mean, both of these things probably like traumatize you or desensitize you at least to certain things that, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like now you got me walking around thinking there's real idiots out here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but no, like we all got our things that we tap into, but we also have the things that we don't. And I think that that's healthy. I think that that's one of the things that I would like to encourage people to remember, that you don't have to interact with every bit of tragedy that comes to your doorstep. Like, you don't have to like or reshare the posts. You don't have to look at that. You don't have to. That doesn't make you a good or bad person to not interact with the latest tragedy.
But for me, I love it's like a reminder that the world is wicked.
I don't need those.
Sometimes I need it. Like sometimes I think.
I don't believe you.
No, listen.
Off,
sometimes it really be groovy. Like I'm never ever going to put RP to someone I don't know. I don't. Maybe LeBron. I take that back. LeBron, an exception. But
I know LeBron. That's my cousin. I'm from Akron.
I'm not about to put RP to fucking Dirk or Vaughn. I'm never going to do that,
bro.
I'm never going to do it.
It's crazy that you said Dirk, though. That's kind of sick, right? You agree that's sick, though, right?
Same guy, same concept.
Wow, bro.
Probably next, but who cares? But I would never do it. But it's like, damn, it's really wild out here. That's all these videos ever remind me of. Is damn, it's really wild out here.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, I personally don't need the reminder.
So, do you think it's a problem that people share it?
Not necessarily. No, I think you should be free to share it for sure.
Is it helpful?
It could be. I always say, bro, like, I don't need, like, Akron had a cop kill an unarmed black man recently, and I was on vacation. Actually, I was in Vegas, and somebody actually sent it to me, like, while I'm on vacation. Now, mind you, I don't know what's going on. I almost never know what's happening. Genuinely, I almost never know what's happening. Because that shit really makes me sad, bro. So I avoid it intentionally because I'm not trying to be sad. And I already got enough sad shit going on in my real life. Like, I know what the world is like. Because that should be happening. So I don't need to tap in with all the tragedy. So I'm on vacation and I get a text from one of my friends who's a super activist. She hit me up. She was like, yo, I just heard what's going on in your city. Like, I'm sorry to hear about that. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So she sends me the video of this man being killed.
Yeah.
I think that's aggressive. I think that's an aggressive way to handle that situation. But at the same time, we really do need people like her. We need people on each side. If there's going to be somebody on one side, we need somebody on the other side so that the world don't turn into just that.
So, would it be a problem if this information was never shared with you, to you? Like, if you just walk around life not knowing what's going on. Like, would you be okay with that?
Possibly. Unless it would affect me, then yeah. There's a chance that it could affect me, but if it doesn't, then, like, I have found, as much as I hate it, as much as I don't want to be ignorant, I want to know everything. Ignorance is truly bliss. Like, if you don't know, then everything is fine.
Yeah.
And sometimes, man, and like the fact that I know, sometimes I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I'd rather not know. Like, I got public anxiety because of that shit. Like, when I'm out in the public, bro, like, niggas be anxious.
No, I just don't fuck with people, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you said the exact same thing in a different way.
But, no, because it's not because I think something is going to happen. Like, you're just too close to me, and there's too many of y'all.
Yeah, facts.
Like, that's it.
Facts.
Not what I think you're gonna do. It's just too many of y'all. They ain't for me.
But now, to get back, because, I mean, your answer, genuinely, bro, I feel like that shit was beautiful, the way that you plan to raise your daughter. That actually touches on one of the things that I wanted to get to as well. I've been hearing a lot about how our generation isn't carrying the torch. Like, the not caring enough, the not being worried about the future, and not garnering the specific types of relationships that we're used to seeing. Specifically, I saw somebody bringing up how we not having cookouts and, we not getting together the same way now that it's on us. That, like, I'm 27, you 23.
Yep.
And, like, we are the ones that are to be carrying these traditions, and someone is saying, at least someone that I'm seeing and hearing from is saying that we're not doing it the same. I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Like, do you feel that way?
Yeah, but I understand why though, because times has changed in the aspect of generations become younger, and most of them are already not cooks like our. Because when we had cookouts, it was like my mom, my grandmother is cooking, and my mom was like 30s, 40s. Like, I don't remember a cookout when the youngest person on the grill is in their 20s. Like I don't even think I ever seen that before, for real, for real. So that, and then also growing up and realizing how family is. Some people just don't fuck with their family, which is understandable.
And what's really funny about you saying that, bro? Well, not funny, but like the interesting thing about you saying that is that I think in generations before ours, that doesn't matter. Like knowing that the way that your family gets down ain't healthy does not mean that you don't have to be around them. Like you still got to be around them.
Do
like,
you love that?
No.
Okay.
I think having the freedom to decide for yourself what is best for you is like really important. That is extremely important to me. So like the fact that there was a time where people genuinely thought, because these are my family members, like I gotta show up at this cookout. Because these are my family members, I'm going to Christmas, I'm going to Thanksgiving, which there's a part of that I respect, but at the same time, like you're not preserving your own mental health. You're not preserving your own happiness, and you got to pursue happiness to a certain degree, at least. And I think you're right. Like if it is not conducive to happiness, you might not want to be throwing these cookouts. You might not want to open yourself up to that. But I also can't say that I'm not seeing cookouts. Like it's cookouts. I'm seeing the cookout. Now it's not as frequent and it's not as large a gatherings as it used to be. But I think we're in a way worse position than our uncles, moms, grandparents. Like they at least had houses that they could rent.
Yeah.
They at least had houses they could rent. Like even if they didn't own it, they was renting it, and it was a house.
Yeah, whoever said that, I don't think they really put into thought like what's actually going on. Like they was just focused on people are not inviting the whole family, like, because
they just mad they couldn't get a plate.
That's it. Like because it really don't make sense. Like because it's like times is hard. Like
no, but I wouldn't say that they don't. I wouldn't say that they don't.
We're not putting two and two together.
I don't think that is that. I think that they are acknowledging a difference. There is a difference. I would say that. I would agree that there is at least some difference, because my family used to have regular cookouts. My family, but as you said, we just not that close.
Yeah. And y'all don't get down how I get down. And I accept that.
Right.
It's not that I don't care for you. It's just like not worth my time to be here, and I'm not going to enjoy it when I can invite the ones I would thoroughly enjoy.
And I think that's really important that you say that. Like, it's not that because I know that we don't get out the same, we don't have the same interests. I'm not saying that I never want to be around you.
It's not me.
I'm not saying that I don't care about you. I'm not saying that I don't even love you. I'm just saying that for me, when I'm having my leisure time, which we only get so much, I want to do exactly what I want to do. I want to be as comfortable as I can be and have the people around me that I really want around me. Now, me personally, that's a lot of people. Like, it's a lot of people that I
need to see. Can have a cookout.
Yeah, I can have a cookout.
Not me. Like, I'm the type, like, you go see me that once a year. I'm going to sacrifice one of these days for you, and then...
Not according to the last fucking episode, my nigga.
Like... No, I know.
I was
about to say, like, my family haven't seen me in a minute, because it's like, you invite me to, I'm not coming, man. I don't want to be here. I know how y'all get down. This ain't for me. Like, but one of the times, I'm just so happy to suck it up and just pop up. I ain't staying long, but I will pop up. That's how I get down. Gotta do it once a year. That's how we do.
Yeah, so for the sake of being transparent, somebody, myself being somebody, messed up and recorded without checking to see if my mic was working. So
audio go sound a little fucked up.
Another apology. This is the apologetic week, I guess.
Yeah.
Another apology for the audio. Honestly, we'll do our best to fix it up, but you'll be able to tell the difference, and I sincerely apologize. Hopefully y'all can give us some leeway as we new to this, we still trying to figure things out, growing pains and such. But I promise that will never be the problem again. So
yeah, that was just a little mishap,
a little hiccup. But yeah, like the family dynamic now is different than it once was, and one of the reasons is that we now feel the power of being allowed to choose who we're around and when we're around them. And I think that's all right, but at the same time, like, it's all right to acknowledge that there's a difference now.
When that person or wherever you read that at, did you notice the difference in the changing the less cookouts or less people there or whatever?
I personally didn't notice it. Like, that's not something that I personally noticed, but I think that I'm just oblivious to that because once it was brought up, I do notice that like I'm not around the people that I used to be around, the way that I used to be around them, and that's definitely a big difference.
Yeah, and then cookouts now is not like cookouts then. Only with, and when I say that, like at my cookouts we used to have games and all that. Now I think you can't have a cookout without liquor or weed or some shit like that. Like I don't think niggas go on walks just to smoke their weed now. They don't do that. They just smoke it there at the cookout. Like it's a whole different generation of people having the cookouts. So
you saying that there was no drugs at your cookouts?
That's not what I'm saying.
Kid?
The drugs are you about to go on the walk, like the cousins going on the walk. That was it. But now it's more of we doing it right here. Bring your own weed, bring your own bottle.
At the same time, though, alcohol was always like in our face. To be honest, like the adults was drinking at the party.
Yeah, that's a fact. But these ain't just drinking no more though. Like, they popping pills and all that. Like that's the new generations change, man.
That's
like,
true.
Like so, it's not. I can't invite my grandma to these new cookouts. She look at me like I disrespected her. Like,
yeah, no, that's true.
It just ain't the same no more. Like it's for the younger folks now. Like for real.
And I wonder how that like correlates to. Do you think that the way that we're doing things now is like good for the next generation? Like, do you think that that's like, you think they're gonna be all right with that?
Yes. I'm gonna say that for one reason because they never got to experience the cookouts we got to experience. These type of cookouts will be all they know, so that's the only reason why I think they'll be okay. Like they don't know what they're missing out on. This would just be a normal cookout for them.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're missing out on anything.
And to be honest, bro, like that's a separate thing from whether it's good or bad. Like I would love for my niece and nephews to like grow up having that. Like cousin camaraderie, right? Like I would love for them to have that. Like go to the basement where the kids was at, or go to the backyard where the kids was at, and like figure it out. You know, figure out fun. Like I would love that, but at the same time, man, I would have loved if I was 7 years old. I would have loved to have an iPad that I could play with too.
Yeah. See, and then also it's like it's good and bad that comes with that. Cause let's not act like being the last one to leave ain't fucking suck. Like your mom say, we about to go, you get ready, and then you still there for 2-3 hours later.
Oh no, I was a different kid. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What?
I was always mad when we left.
Oh no,
I was always mad when we left. Can we just let me stay the night?
See, it was different because when we had to go out, like I always wanted my cousins to come stay the night at my house. I was never allowed to go over there to stay the night. So it was like when I leave, like I don't know the next time I'm about to see y'all. Like unless you come over and stay. So schedules gotta collide, whatever you say. Collide, ain't it?
Align.
Align? It's not collide?
No.
Align? I'm tired. Schedules gotta align. But and yeah, like I have cousins I grew up with. Every weekend he stayed the night at my house. But once that transition from middle school to like high school, it's like I don't even know you no more.
Yeah.
But what I love though is my two cousins who was like that. We still tight.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
And I love that. I cherish that a lot. So that's why I know it's possible. Like I don't think they're gonna miss out on anything because if it's real, it's real.
Yeah, and I think the relationships, like the way that we build these relationships, is just different.
So
like you couldn't have a best friend on like Instagram, or I honestly don't know what these kids like. They texted. I genuinely don't know. But like I have had best friends that I only saw once a year.
Yeah.
Like I had best friends from high school that I only saw once a year. And like I saw them in high school, but
yeah,
I wasn't linking with them. So like I think that the way that we build relationships is different, and even though it's not the same, and the values won't be built the same. I think it's just a completely different thing, and I think that's probably all right. Because as long as you got a connection.
Yeah, but the way you build a connection, I have a question. Is it the way you build a connection? Does it prove if it's solid or not?
Not the way that you build it, no.
I wouldn't think a relationship built online would be a solid one. But that's crazy because my
crazy.
best friend I play the game with, I never seen him ever in person. I talk to him daily though. And it'll be weird the moment we stop talking. Without a doubt.
And you said you've linked.
Yeah, with one of my guys from the game. Yeah, that's still my dog too.
And you knew him from the game.
Yeah, only from the game. That's the only reason why
and
I know.
You linked.
Yeah, shout out to my
bro.
nigga Dylan. Yeah,
yeah, bro. Like,
so yeah, I take that back.
I think human connection is human connection. You may be losing things in your ability to meet up with people, but I don't think those things that you're losing make it real or not.
And to touch back on that, like the older generation don't see the value in the connection that was built online.
And can you understand that?
Yes.
I can understand that.
Yeah,
But just like with the people who get offended and the people who find offense, I think it's just easy to ignore the reality of the situation where, like, yeah, you have some good points, but that does not mean that the other thing doesn't exist.
And that's just a generation of people who's not open-minded. Just don't see the other side. They just see their side. Not just see their side. Only think their side is right.
Sure.
Yeah.
I could say the same thing about this one, though.
You think so?
I think our generation is, like, completely enthralled in their phone, like, in technology. Like, sometimes I know some people who prefer the internet relationships to, like, real life relationships because they're easier to navigate.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, I understand that, but, like, when you're with, I just think that when you're doing one and, like, you don't have the ability to enjoy that one, I think that there's, like, there's something missing there. I think you're missing, like, the value of something there. But I don't get to say what value you put into that.
That, and also sometimes because they don't have it, they don't know what they're missing.
No, for sure.
So yeah, like, that's definitely a good point.
But also, like, I just feel like, because, like, some people say that, you know, oh, when I'm out and I see people just always on their phones, it's like, yeah, man, they're connecting with multiple people right now. And I think that's all right. Yeah. But I think that it's valuable to be able to have the face-to-face connections outside of, like, interacting with your phone too. Yeah. Like, for me personally, when I'm with people, I look at my phone way less. Like, I might not be on my phone. Like, I miss text messages, I miss calls because my phone really be in my pocket on silent and I'm having my conversations.
It truly depends on who I'm around. But I love people who have their phone and capture the moment they're in. I do love that. Because sometimes just remembering it is not enough.
That's a full fact.
Yeah, seeing it changes the game.
That's a full fact. That's a full fact.
I'm all for the having your technology in public, doing something in dates and all that. I'm all for that.
I respect that. Yeah. No, me too. I'm all for it too. I think I wish this wasn't the case because I think I'm afraid that overly opinionated being the title makes people think that I'm going to have an opinion and you're going to have an opinion that's like on one side of the spectrum. But oftentimes my opinion is literally that having an opinion strong either way means that you're ignoring something that I find important. Yeah. So, like, the ability to interact with technology and to build relationships without technology, or, like, without technology being, like, the crutch. I think both of those is mad dope. Like, yeah, both of those things. Like, bro.
Which one you hold more value in to you?
I use technology as a tool for access. Things that I wouldn't have access to and people that I wouldn't have access to. But when it's face to face, I hold most value in that because I can guarantee, as I said in the last episode, that in that moment I'm making a new memory with that person. I can't guarantee if I send you a text message, bro, you might not see that until tomorrow.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Even though I'm having a conversation with you, like that conversation is happening sporadically, and like that's not a guarantee. That's not a shared memory between the two of us that we're making together.
I like that
Necessarily.
I'm gonna give you my technology. For me, I love technology in relationships because it allows people to say things they're not comfortable saying in person. And I love that.
And you think that's a good thing?
I think that's a good thing.
I appreciate that take. Let me know why.
Because sometimes if it was just in person, it may have never got said.
That's true.
And even though I don't want to say man enough or I'm going to say brave enough to say it face to face, long as you say it, I love that.
I appreciate that.
And technology give people that power. So it also, another side of that, they can become something they're not with technology. And then when they don't have it, they're lost. That's what kind of scares me about it. I don't want to ever be lost without technology.
Is that you? So I was going to ask for you to address, because people say regularly that technology will allow you to say things that you wouldn't say, and that be a negative thing.
Yeah.
Was that you addressing that?
No. Well, yes, because it can't be positive. Like, some people, example, some people can't talk to abusers face to face, but they can pour their heart out, like, I don't like this is not it, whatever, all over a text. And someone gets that message. Like, some people just don't have the courage to have that difficult conversation. And technology allows that conversation. And that's why I love it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's huge. Also, it's like sometimes you just can't be face to face with some people, and technology brings you that bond. Like someone's in the army, technology lets you video chat with them. Like that really wasn't a thing 20 years ago. Sitting on FaceTime, unless like the everyday person can do that now.
Yeah,
and that's a beautiful thing.
No, that's a good point. That's a good example too.
Technology changed the game.
It really did.
Pros and cons with it, and I think for me the pros outweigh the cons.
I completely agree with you. And I think that if people would examine it, I think if the listeners and everyone who would disagree, I think if they would examine it, they would agree. Like, they would ultimately agree because technology, especially the internet, has connected us to possibilities that seem like necessities now.
Yeah. Would you consider it a necessity?
For me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like to tell myself it's not, but I feel like I'm lying to myself.
Yeah. No, it's a necessity for me.
For happiness, yes. Only because I find happiness in the game and seeing my loved ones over the phone. I'd rather see you over the phone. Certain people.
That's crazy.
Certain people, though. Because, like, when I'm ready to go, click. Like, I can do that. Like, oh, the call dropped. Oh, I don't got no service.
Nah, but for real, you're a piece of shit.
Like, hey,
like
listen,
you really suck.
It helps, man. That shit helps. Like,
but no, that's likely. You're more likely to interact with family members that you wouldn't interact with if you had to go there and not have the ability to be like, all right, I'm done now. Yeah. No, that's a fact.
I appreciate technology.
But for me, the reason I think one of the main reasons that I would say it's a necessity is because I genuinely don't know how people used to knock on strangers' doors and ask for directions. Like, for real, bro. Like,
no, forget that.
Directions, dog?
They used to pull over with an atlas.
Fam.
Someone just bought me an atlas for this, and I thought that shit was so wild. Just looking at it like, this is how you cross state lines? You trust this? And nah, there's no way. I just wouldn't be going anywhere.
I wouldn't go nowhere.
There's no way, man.
I'm gonna go in my neighborhood, and that's it.
That's it. Like, that shit is really, really, like, how times change is really crazy.
It is, and I think our relationship with times changing, like, as a society, is kind of toxic. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I think it seems inevitable. Just because we don't seem super aware of it. Like, as a whole, we don't seem super aware of, all right, times are changing. this is how times changed before, so we can kind of understand how this is going. But our relationship with times changing is so toxic. Like, even just the way that young people are treated. Like, just the way that young people are treated by society, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you're probably still called a baby on the regular.
Easily.
That's whack.
Yeah.
Or people invalidating your experiences.
Yep.
Like, people telling you, oh, you ain't even done this yet. It's like,
yep.
Okay.
Your nuts ain't dropping and shit like that. Yeah. Talking crazy.
And it's wild because you have a whole story they ain't read yet. But you have already been invalidated just because, and you don't get to choose when you was born.
Yeah.
So just because when you was born, you already less valid than them. And that's corny.
I think that's just people stuck in their ways and they're not living in today's world. That's what I think that is.
I think that's a cycle though. I think they were also called babies when they were that old.
You think that's just the thing to do?
I think that's the thing to do. Like, at a certain point, when you have so many experiences, it seems that we as a society, as we age and have so many experiences, someone who doesn't have those, you automatically say, okay, well, your experiences have less value because there are fewer of them.
Yeah. And not each individual experience.
Yeah. And that, like, to me, that's whack. Just simply because, like, I remember listening to people talk and talk about how, like, especially on, like, podcasts and stuff like that, people talking about how, like, yeah, but you were talking to a 21-year-old, so what did you expect? And, like, at the age of 21, I would be thinking, like, damn, like, does my conversation hold no value? Does it hold lesser value? And now being 27, like, I understand what they were getting at. Where it's like, you have a certain mindset.
At 21.
That isn't conducive to the kind of conversation that I want. And that's fine. But that doesn't mean that nothing that you're saying matters.
Right.
Especially when when it's the world to you.
Yeah. And what I don't like about that is they think because you're young, you can't have that type of conversation. And let's say you feel that way. That's not a problem, but at least allow them to get some type of knowledge from you. Like, you just want me to go through this knowing I'm young and about to have why I have to go through this experience when you can just tell me. You know what I'm saying? Like, why does that have to happen? I don't understand that.
Well, sometimes the answer would literally be, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. You agree?
Yes, but at least let's take it there.
Bro.
Let's take it there.
I feel that.
Like, I just read this thing. Don't come to me with a problem when you hate solutions. I just read that. And I love that so much. But if I come to you with a problem and you want me to hit my head, at least give me a solution.
Yeah.
Now, if I continue to ignore your solution, then you be like, no, you too young. You go do what you want to do.
Sure.
Because I heard that plenty of times.
Sure.
You go do what you want to do. But don't just let me hit my head if I'm asking you for some help.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, man. And to be honest, like, give me the chance. I'm like, to me, I always just wanted the chance, bro. Like, let me disappoint you. Don't assume disappointment. Like, let me disappoint you. Like, try to have an intellectual conversation with me and tell me where I'm wrong. And even though, like, I might be hard-headed, I'm not going to forget that. Like, I might still, like, there's an opportunity for growth there. To be honest, like, that just, I don't like writing people off, man. That's not, I dislike that. And I think, like, across the board, writing people off it just doesn't work. It doesn't work for, like, progression. And because of that, I hate to see the way that young people are treated. Like, we are really just brushed off often. Like, it happens so often where you tell somebody your age and they literally will, like, roll their eyes and say, oh, you just it's like, bro, yeah, I'm a grown-ass man. Like I've really lived a life. Like, I have lived a lifetime. Literally. Yeah. My whole lifetime. It is not fair for you to say that that's not worth anything because it's not as long as yours.
And that's all it is, too. Because They don't even know your experience. They just assuming you went through what they went through. Yeah, they also assume that you went through what they went through at what's the name, not knowing it could have been what you went through at 40 years old.
Yeah,
and they're not open to that yet.
Yeah,
they're not. Like homelessness. Some people be homeless at 16. Some people ain't been homeless till they're like 28, 30s. Like,
right.
And it's like I hit that stone earlier than you, and you don't even know that.
Right.
Off 16, you think I'm just gotta go to school and wake up. Nah, I've been having to pay bills since I was 16.
Facts.
But you don't know that though.
Facts.
You don't know that at all. So it really be like that.
But I think that relationship is indicative of the relationship that we have with aging in society. Like, something that is new is just so much less valuable. Like, your internet relationship, because that's a new type of relationship, is just so much less valuable.
Yeah.
Like, that's a young type of relationship. We haven't even seen these types of relationships, so that you can't have just that. Like, you have to go out. You have to make friends like this. Like, when people talk about, old heads regularly talk about how we don't go outside. Like, our generation ain't touched grass, right? And it's like, fam.
I hear that daily.
Like fam. We are building things. Like, we building, bro.
Like, that's a fact.
Like we building for real. Nah, whether that is like a great advancement or not, there will be some benefits to come out of it. Mm-hmm. There have been benefits to come out of it.
Do you think they were just scared of the change?
That's a great question, bro. And it's even better coming from you, because I know that you're afraid of change.
Yeah.
So, like, probably. It's probably fear of change, and it's probably also discomfort with the unknown. Like, you know what this garners. And, I mean, imagine being in their position, I guess. Right? 40 plus years of seeing this is how you succeed. This is how you make a good person. And then that all changes and you see something different. And, like, these are your children's, like, cohorts. You might have a reasonable, rational fear that, like, this isn't what I know that garners good relationships. Like, I understand being afraid of that.
And then also, that older generation who speaks like that, they were never taught to be open-minded. I think young folks are teaching people to be open-minded.
I've never thought about that before.
Like, open-minded was not a thing of my ancestors, my older generation. Like, if there's one, they laid it out. That's just how you follow it, and that was it.
That's
like,
a fact.
It was very strict. And then when you start questioning why is it this way, that's when things change.
Wow, bro. I never thought of that. I never thought of, like, I understood that open-mindedness wasn't being taught. But because I don't have children, and because I'm not around children, like, regularly enough to know whether open-mindedness is being taught, for you to tell me that open-mindedness is now being, like, instilled, that's kind of beautiful, dog.
I'm about to tell you the difference. As a child, when you question your mom, what did she say?
Because I said so.
Now, my child questions me, you get the answer. Like, why you gotta bathe every day, so you won't be dirty. That's why. It's not because I said so.
Right.
It's because I don't want you to be dirty.
Right.
That's it. Like, you give kids reasons for their questions. And when kids got questions answered, they're open to many things instead of it's just that way. That's all old people are. It's just that way. It's just been that way. They don't know why. It's just been that way. It was that experiment with the monkeys. Every time they touch the banana, they get drenched in cold water. And then the next generation of monkeys, they started fighting the monkeys. Whoever tried to touch the banana, don't even know why. Just continue to do it. It's just the effect.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Wow.
We started asking questions, and we started getting answers.
It's so important. That's so important to me too.
Yeah.
Like, just an adult to adult level, like, you know, growing, being open-minded is like a necessity for that growth. So for you to tell me, for you to confirm to me that the next generation is already having some of that given to them, like to receive open-mindedness as like a groundstone.
Mm-hmm. And then you also got to think, like, that older generation was as a kid, they wasn't treated as their own person.
That's true.
Like
it was even worse for them.
This times is changing, man. And I think it's for the good. I truly think it's for the good. When you start seeing kids as their own person, your perspective on how you talk to people changes. Like it's not, and that's what I liked about you. You didn't do the baby talk with kids. Like I love that.
I never do.
Like because these are people.
They're
and
people,
they pick
man.
up on that, man.
Yeah, they're people,
and it changes the game, man. It really does.
Yeah, I don't know that everyone enjoys that. Especially, I think, for me specifically, like my voice does not always go over well with children. I got a couple little cousins, bro, that legit did not like me until they were like 4 years old. Like they wouldn't speak to me; they would just stare at me the whole time I was in there. So like maybe maybe I'm not the best example, but like I think you got to talk to these kids the way you want them to talk.
Yeah.
Like I don't want my kids like talking wee wee boo boo. Like nah.
There's a future fair. Some Savons running around.
No, well I should say like I don't want the children that I'm associated with. However, I'm sorry if that sounds crazy, but I don't want them to like wee wee boo boo like all of that. Like I don't want them to
talk like real people.
Yeah, I want them to like be articulate
and be able to conversate.
Yeah.
That's a positive trait. Like, and I think that should be taught because I think it sets kids back when you do that. The more I think about it, like it's just like, what besides fun, what good comes out of it? Of talking like a baby.
Is it fun though? Is that actually fun
for kids?
I think it's only fun because they get interacted with that way.
Yeah.
Like when people baby talk children, they do it in an enthusiastic way. If they were enthusiastic with just speaking to them, I think kids would be just as enthusiastic about speaking.
That just made me think.
How I want kids to cuss?
How you can say anything to a dog, but if you say it in a good voice, they'll wag their tail. Back to kids are like dogs.
No, bro.
The other side, though.
Look.
No,
this is not. We cannot do this, bro.
I want people to know that, man, because 10 years in the future, they could be like, they ain't said that shit.
No, bro. 10 years in the future, they're going to be like, y'all remember that one podcast that could have been great?
We going to edit that out. But I want
you remember that one? You remember that? We're not editing it out. But, I mean, you got to, like, I want you to know that society is not ready for that.
But listen, they need to be, man.
I don't think that's the case. I think there's a gigantic difference between a dog and a child.
I don't think it's as big as you think it is. That's all I'm going to say. We can leave it at that. I don't think it's as big as you think it is.
You got any final thoughts? This didn't, like, I was literally just going through my week and trying to, like, think about the things that I wanted to bring to the Overly Opinionated podcast because I genuinely have opinions about them.
Yeah.
But it ended up being that this stayed on a similar topic. Is there any final thoughts you want to share on, I guess, our generation and how we're progressing?
Be open-minded and understand change is okay. That's the only thing I want to share. Be open-minded, change is okay.
Yeah.
And fear is normal. So if there was no fear, if comfort was a thing, everyone would be doing it. You got to be uncomfortable for change.
That's a fact.
So that's all I want to end with.
That's a fact. Now I just want to end with saying, don't be out here saying faggot.
What color?
Like don't be calling people retarded, and don't be retarded.
Yeah, care about how people feel. That's the real thing. Don't be retarded. Oh man.
Look, thank y'all for tuning in. This genuinely means the world to us. This has been a long journey to get here, and it means everything to us just for y'all to listen. And it means just as much for y'all to tap in, tell us what y'all think, tell us what y'all like, tell us what y'all don't. The Overly Opinionated Pod on Instagram, the Overly Opinionated Pod at gmail.com, and the OOP Boys on Twitter. Hit us up, tap in with us, and we'll see y'all next Wednesday.
Thank you.